Rick Warren did something curious the other day. He went on the Larry King program and said something that didn't quite ring true, but was an interesting development. Now, that's our clip number 1, Dave. So let's play that for the people at home here. This is Rick Warren talking to Larry King on CNN. Here it is.
What you may think of Rick Warren's opinion on things, he's an extraordinary guy and always a great guest and always good to have him. He's pastor of the Saddleback Church. He's the #1 New York Times best-selling author of The Purpose-Driven Life. He delivered the invocation at Barack Obama's inauguration. He comes to us from Irvine, California. How did you handle all the controversy that resulted about the president selecting you?
Yeah. You know, Larry, there was a story within a story that never got told. In the first place, I am not an anti-gay or anti-gay marriage activist. Never have been, never will be. During the whole Proposition 8 thing,
what?
I never once went to a meeting, never once issued a statement, never once even gave an endorsement in the 2 years Prop 8 was going. The week before the vote, somebody in my church said, "Pastor Rick, what do you think about this?" And I sent a note to my own members that said, I actually believe that marriage really should be defined, that definition should be saved between a man and a woman. And then all of a sudden out of it, they made me, something that I really wasn't. And I actually, there were a number of things that were put out. I wrote to all my gay friends, the leaders that I knew, and actually apologized to them. That never got out. There were some things said that, everybody should have 10% grace when they say public statements. And I was asked a question that made it sound like I equated gay marriage with pedophilia or incest, which I absolutely do not believe. And I actually announced that all of the criticism came from people who didn't know me. Not a single criticism came from any gay leader who knows me and knows that for years we've been working together on AIDS issues and all these other things.
Right. Do you therefore criticize or not comment on the Iowa court decision to permit gay marriage?
Yeah, I'm totally oblivious to what's that. That's not even my agenda. My agenda is 2 things. One, today is the 15th anniversary of the genocide in Rwanda. It's the National Day of Mourning, which as you know, I've been heavily involved in Rwanda and helping rebuild that nation, and I'm very concerned about that. And the second thing is I'm interested in what the recession is doing to the spiritual climate of our nation. And as we start Easter week and Passover week, which this is a really big week for those of us who are Jews or Christians, Passover and Easter, it's our biggest week of the year. And it actually was the week that I started Saddleback Church 30 years ago this Easter Sunday.
Oh, that's so cute. So let me give you a direct quote from what you just watched and heard there. I never once gave an endorsement of Prop 8. That seems curious because I remember another video from Rick Warren right before the election on Prop 8. Let's watch that.
What I want to mention is Proposition 8, which is the proposition that had to be instituted because the courts threw out the will of the people. And a court of 4 guys actually voted to change a definition of marriage that has been going for 5,000 years. Now, let me just say this really clearly. We support Proposition 8. And if you believe what the Bible says about marriage, you need to support Proposition 8. I never support a candidate, but on moral issues, I come out very clear. This is one thing, friends, that all politicians tend to agree on. Both Barack Obama and John McCain, I flat out asked both of them, what is your definition of marriage? And they both said the same thing. It is the traditional, historic, universal definition of marriage. One man and one woman for life. And every culture for 5,000 years and every religion for 5,000 years has said the definition of marriage is between one man and a woman. Now, here's an interesting thing. There are about 2% of Americans are homosexual or gay, lesbian people. We should not let 2% of the population determine to change a definition of marriage that has been supported by every single culture and every single religion for 5,000 years. This is not even just a Christian issue. It's a humanitarian and human issue that God created marriage for the purpose of family, love, and procreation. So I urge you to support Proposition 8 and pass that word on. I'm going to be sending out a note to pastors on what I believe about this, but everybody knows what I believe about it, and they heard me at the Civil Forum when I asked both Obama and McCain on their views.
Well, yeah, everybody does know your opinion on it, except you apparently, because now you say I never gave an endorsement of Prop 8. Was it just me, or did that look like an endorsement of Prop 8? Fairly significant endorsement of Prop 8. So Rick Warren was set to go on ABC to explain the difference. He was going to go and talk to George Stephanopoulos, when at the last minute he backed out. Why? Because he had no explanation. Of course! And Stephanopoulos came on and he said, oh, sorry, Rick Warren, we thought was going to be on, but just called minutes earlier and said that he could not come on because of exhaustion. Or maybe he was exhausted from lying. But, I mean, that's a weak sauce excuse, man. That's what they use when Lindsay Lohan's all coked up and she has to check into the hospital and she's like, oh, I'm suffering from exhaustion. Please. Now, but nonetheless, I view what Rick Warren said on CNN as very positive. Why? Because he's backpedaling from what he said earlier. Look, what he said earlier is, of course, totally not true. This whole myth that they have that marriage has been the same for 5,000 years in every culture and every religion, that's not true. There's some cultures allow men to get married to 4 different wives, many different wives. Some allow few, but some allow women to get married to many different men. Most cultures did not marry for love or because God preordained it or anything along those lines or destiny or anything. No, they married for money. That has been the great history of marriage, the great brunt of the history of marriage. And it's not even true in the Bible. So, you know, if you look at the Bible, there's many types of marriage. This is not just one man and one woman. It is absolutely made up, and no one should allow them to get away with that kind of fabricated mythology. But now, what's more interesting, every person should know that, right? What's more interesting is that now Rick Warren and Dr. Laura, did you guys see this too? Dr. Laura also saying, well, you know, this gay marriage thing, maybe we should let it go. She was the most judgmental of them all. And she's like, well, you know, I'm not saying gay marriage is okay. Just like Rick Warren said to CNN, all the presidents have been against it. But, you know, if 2 gay people want to share a committed, loving relationship, that's a great thing, and I'm in favor of it. So why are all these conservative leaders all of a sudden backpedal? It's because they sense what's in the climate now in America. The mood has shifted. The public opinion has shifted. The game is over. The minute they saw what happened in Iowa, they realized, hey, we can't just call this thing a Vermont thing or a San Francisco thing, that the American people have spoken and are going to continue to speak and say gay marriage is okay. So I find it, look, I don't care how they got to this conversion. I don't care if it's because they're lying and disingenuous, or if they said, or maybe, who knows, Rick Warren and Dr. Laura's of the world woke up and said, hey, you know what, maybe the American people are right. And maybe we were judgmental pricks. And maybe we should put some thought behind these people trying to have a loving, committed relationship. But hey, it's a great thing, man, because the tide is turning. And as James Dobson said very recently, and this is very telling, he said, we have lost the battle. Let me give you a quote. We tried to defend the unborn child, the dignity of the family, but it was a holding action. We are awash in evil, and the battle is still to be waged. We are right now in the most discouraging period of that long conflict. Humanly speaking, we can say we have lost all those battles. That's James Dobson, former head of Focus on the Family. That was basically in his retirement speech. We have lost all those battles. They have. And now on the gay marriage issue, they are in full-blown retreat, which is a phenomenal thing.